again, we are live from the LinkedIn Hub at Advertising Week, and I'm sitting here with Susan Manber. She is the Executive Vice President, Brand Strategy and Planning at Digitas Health LifeBrands. So Susan, today's been my kind of health space day, which is cool because I like it when there's kind of interesting themes to approach and look at from different sides. So I like what we were talking about. You told me that you kind of have a different, well, first let's start with your background because I think that that's super cool. So let's talk about, you said your background in psychology was how people make decisions. So isn't that what everybody here at Advertising Week and every marketer would love to know is how people make decisions so we can make them make the decisions we want them to make, right? So tell me a little bit about that and how it fits into your line of work and just our, this industry in general first.
Absolutely. Well, cognitive psychology is all about understanding how people think and make decisions, and the language that they use and what they can't use is really what we try to dig into to understand what really drives them in their decisions. So for example, when it comes to health and wellness, a lot of these issues are very sensitive topics, especially when people are dealing with chronic illnesses. So we use a lot of techniques that psychologists use to draw out for us what their experience has been. So for example, one of the campaigns that we did on behalf of Abilify was for depression. And the insight, Winston Churchill was famous for saying that his depression was like a black dog. So we had people draw for us what their depression was like, and it fueled an entire campaign, and it was so telegraphic of how I was really feeling. And the feedback that we got from people was actually that, wow, you've managed to make communications about depression not depressing.
Wow, that's amazing. And it was branded. I mean, it was
and
for
it was
a
branded.
brand.
Absolutely.
It's like we think about how do we make branded content? How do we make relevant content? And here you make something that actually makes people feel better. That's a pretty amazing achievement.
Absolutely.
I think so.
And then we had artists come and work with people because not everyone feels comfortable being before the camera.
Yeah.
And so we literally had them draw their stories, and that fueled all of our online content.
That's really cool. So your little catchphrase, which I really like, is helping, not selling. Okay, so that sounds great. Okay, I mean, everybody would like to say we're all helping all the consumers out there. But in reality, is everything we're selling really helping everybody? And do you make a decision not to sell something that would be just selling and not actually helping?
It's a great question, and we've gotten a lot of pushback over the years at first because it's a provocative statement. Wait a minute. You're in the advertising business.
Yeah.
You want to sell your clients' products. So what we say is, actually, we're not for a moment saying it's not about selling your products. What we are saying is that the way to do it in today's world, when people have more information at their disposal than ever before, is to help them make better, more confident decisions, to fuel them with the knowledge and the insight to have a better, more productive conversation with their doctor, and frankly, have them speak the same language, because consumers speak a very emotional, descriptive language, and often what they don't say is what determines whether they get care or not. Doctors speak a very scientific, rational, technical language. They think they're explaining the treatment path to people, and they don't necessarily understand, especially when it comes to oncology space. People say, oh yes, I sat there, but the doctor was saying, wow, I don't know. So it's critically important, we say, to always bring someone with you and to give people the continuity and the context to really understand how to make decisions, especially when they're life and death. Nothing's more important, right?
So that's kind of a tall order in the sense that we are always going to sell our brands or promote our brands in a way that is actually really helping or making a difference. I mean, that's an admirable challenge. But tell me about how that creative process works, because it isn't an easy one to always do. Sometimes you just want to say, here, just buy this. It's really cool, or it's really great, or it's gonna, So I kind of want to hear your insight on that.
I mean, interestingly, in the health space, often you'll get pushback. How can you work in the pharmaceutical business and sell that drugs? And I honestly feel if I can help one person in 1 week make a better decision, I sleep very well at night. But the FDA rules and the whole notion of fair balance, which is that you're going to say the benefits of product, you need to express the risks as well. And that's what that balance is like. So what we say is, you know what? We're going to break all the rules except the regulatory ones.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say,
we're not going to get our clients a letter, ever. But what we are going to do is connect with people on a human level. No beaches, no bicycles, no silver-haired people walking down the beach. That's not the way we approach. No, because here's the thing. Formulas don't sell. Human connection is what actually sells. When you can telegraph somebody's story and connect with that true value of why I really felt that I was helped and I had a better conversation with my doctor, that's something that's meaningful and tangible. And all week we've been talking about the fact that these generations, the millennials, the boomers, they are about social transparency. They've grown up with a world where they can suss out what's good from bad, and you better be on the right side of the conversation, or you're going to be seen as not appropriate.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really interesting. I think it's fascinating that you are focused on this whole get beyond the comfortable. That's another challenge. I mean, you're just setting yourself up for all kinds of cool challenges, but clearly you love that and it's working. So let's talk about this beyond the comfortable kind of thing.
Well, the thing is, if you stick with the tried and true, sell your features and benefits, you're not really going to make an impact. That's old school marketing. That's when you had a mass market and you could go out there and you could pretty much count that everyone was watching the TV. And as much as we might be nostalgic for the Wonder Years, that world is gone forever. So you can't just shill your features and benefits and expect to actually make a mark. People are not going to believe you, and they're not going to key in and listen. So what we have to do is find a way to get, and we talk about authentic all the time, but it really is about that. What are you authentically delivering beyond your product? What are the services behind it? And what is your brand purpose? We work a lot these days on getting beyond, yes, there's the hows, there's the what's, but why am I in this business? What is my reason for being? Why did somebody invent me and put me on the market? And that is really what we key into. So for example, one of our clients, AviQ, they were founded by two brothers. They had severe allergies growing up. Terrible. They were always in the ER. And they grew up and they were tired of stabbing themselves with a device that was a horrible experience. So they said there's got to be a better way. One went to medical school, the other went to engineering school, and they invented this device that talks, and it talks you through the experience so that if, God forbid, you're a mother with a child, the big fear is, oh my God, I can do it when I'm there, but what happens if I'm not there with them? So it literally talks you through the procedure. So those are the kinds of things that we really are excited to be able to work on and support, because they're true innovations that are really helping people.
Do you tear up every day?
I do. And actually, I do have severe allergies, as does my daughter. So this is one of those rare times when I am the audience. I'm not always, but in this case, I am.
Well, Susan, honestly, I'm not just saying that, but this has been kind of one of the more inspirational interviews I've done, because although, advertising is really interesting and it's really cool, but to see someone putting it in place for something that is so meaningful to people and so personal, and really, setting yourself up for some really tough challenges and working through that is really amazing. So please keep it up for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.